Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. I know all of you are excited because, hey, yeah, this is voting time. This is time you did all of that talking and cross the fence and neighbor at the bar and places like that and talk about getting rid of people and putting new people in. Well, we have Everett Browning here. He's been on here before, and he was just giving me an idea about private jets. I said, well, I guess I'll get a loaner jet, if when I want to go out to California. And after he told me the price, I said, well, where's Greyhound? but anyway, Everett Browning, young man who has been in the county for many years and made a lot of contributions to this county, is running for the state senate.
Yes, sir.
Of the 24th district.
Yes, sir.
Tell us some of the, one of the things that I really wanted to get involved in, we talked about it off camera, is that the selection method for the school board superintendent. We just ran through one, and a lot of people weren't satisfied, and they figured that they giving the county exec that much power. I think it's some misinformation there. Most of them think that the county exec can just arbitrarily stand on the corner and say, I want you to be my superintendent of education. Tell us, how was that done, the transfer of duty?
Well, first of all, Mr. Brown, thank you for the honor and privilege of coming to sit with you again. And I thank you for your many years of being the voice of the community, of getting information out about what's going on in the community. Talking about the school board, which has been a huge thing for many years. I think we've been through almost 7 school board members in less than maybe 15, school board superintendents in less than 15 years. And so we went to, the idea was, well, maybe we'll give the county exec the opportunity to select that, and that hasn't worked out. So now with the new county exec coming in, a lot of people think that they will be looking at selecting the next superintendent, but the truth is, according to the directive, they make a recommendation, and that recommendation has to be approved by the Maryland State Board.
Which is appointed State Board.
Yeah, school board, and there are people who are appointed by Governor Hogan. And so while we like to hope that if it is, the recommendation will be accepted, there's a possibility that the governor and the board can reject the nomination. So we really have given up our right to decide who's living our school system. Not only, we allowed it to go to the county exec, but really we gave it to the governor. But when the law was written, no one ever imagined that there wouldn't be a Democratic governor. They assumed when it came a point that we wouldn't go through that road again. And so now we find ourselves in that situation. That happens a lot with the misinformation. There's a lot of half-truths, misinformation that doesn't get down to the people. And it bothers me because during election time, elected officials don't have any problems finding you. They got your email address, your phone numbers, they send you stuff in the mail, they knock on your door to make sure you're informed to vote for them. But when it comes to getting you information about what's going on in the community, who truly is in charge and how is it being affected, somehow there's a silence, a scary silence of that actually who's in charge and what's going on doesn't get down to the people.
Right.
And that's one of my main reasons of running, is because we live in a technology world, but yet when it comes to politics, we're behind. It's a shame that our state legislation is not even webcast. You can't even go online and watch the deliberations of our state legislation. You can listen to it, but you can't watch it happen live. You can do it for the county and not for the state, and that transparency has to change. We need to make sure that people know what's going on and explain to them, and that
the procedure,
so their will and their concerns can be enacted. And but as long as you keep people in the dark, you can lead them wherever you want them to be. Like the MGM. They told everybody, yeah, we'll get this MGM. You'll get all this money for the schools. You're gonna get all these jobs.
Billion.
Yeah, you'll get all these jobs. You'll get all this money for school. Greatest thing ever. And they knocked on everybody door and told them that.
Really?
And the MGM be there, and all these small businesses, minority, local small businesses who were promised an opportunity to subcontract. That didn't come through because instead of making it a mandate, they made it a best effort. And they said, well, we can't find nobody. Yeah, we couldn't find anybody who can pick up, who can do, this type of work. And they brought all their friends in from New Jersey and Vegas and had to do the work. And then with the money going to the school system, they didn't understand or explain to everybody what the maintenance of effort, what that meant, that the school board budget couldn't go over a certain amount. So all that money that was coming from the NGM just kind of just slid over into the general fund, which is how in the oversight, and that and it was either one or two things: either they were incompetent or they were complicit. But either way, it's time for them to go.
No, that's what I was telling people. My experience in government. I said just because they pass a bill, I say it has to be implemented. And you got to know the procedure,
yes, sir,
implementation,
yes, sir,
of that, and what happened. They yelled about 50 million going to the school board, but I said what happens is it goes into the general fund, and I can lobby you as a senator or a member of the House, and say, what about you help me with my project in my district? Well, but we don't have the money. Okay, well, we take some of that money.
Out of the general fund,
Out
yes,
of the
sir.
general fund. And many times, many projects are funded from the general fund after they were rejected by
the process, yes, sir.
Body, yeah.
Yes, sir. And that's the thing is we have to get to a point, and it's not just on the politicians, all community leaders. We have to do a better job of educating people on what's going on. Across the board, and hopefully that will raise the level of voter turnout. As you know, every 4 years, like you said before, everyone's mad. They complaining at the barbershop. They complaining at church. They complaining when they get a tax bill. They're complaining about the schools. But yet we re-elect the same people, and our voter turnout is so low. In District 24, we have the largest amount of registered Democrats in the state. We have almost like 85,000 Democrats registered, and yet last time, less than 15,000 showed up to vote. And so until we show up and make sure our voices are heard, we're going to continually be a victim of misinformation and not understand. The devil's in the details. It's procedures. Because once those doors close and people start moving that money around, and they come out and they point fingers at everybody else. There's no accountability. They take credit for all the good things, but when it goes wrong, it's never them. Somebody else did. That was a school board. That was a county exec. That was a legislator. That was a governor. That was a president. That was the boogeyman. But no one takes accountability, and we need to change that and bring in a sense of integrity. And because until we get to the point where people trust the politicians here, businesses, the government, who we need to partner with to bring jobs here, to bring opportunities here, they're going to be hesitant because they don't want to be on TV on Monday saying, I'm working with this politician to do $1 billion bill. Then the next day, that politician's on TV because he got locked up for stealing money. They don't want to be associated with us. So we need to change that reputation so that our leadership represent the outstanding people in this county. There are a lot of great, hardworking families in this county, and they need leadership who reflect their sense of integrity and their sense of accomplishment and their sense of wanting something for the future.
Yeah, well, see, that was the thing that I got a lot of feedback on that. People didn't understand,
Yes, sir.
how that would happen, how the various programs that have been passed the last 20 years, all of a sudden had Head Start. Head Start, you lose Head Start program. My God, we've had it 20 years. How could you lose funding from the Head Start program? And, people wondered because it was a positive program, how that could happen when it's been functioning for years, and then the Republican governor covered some of that money. I don't know where the rest of it came from. at $6.9 million, you know.
Yeah, they pull some back from different places just to keep, because to avoid the embarrassment. But the truth is, the reason that people constantly are not holding up to what they should do is because they know all they have to do is put up a lot of signs, do a lot of mailers, and they're going to get reelected. If I told you that you can go to work or you can do the show and you can talk about nothing and all you got to do is write a check to keep your job, where is the sense of accountability going to come from? What is going to be your motivating factor if you know no matter how bad I do, no matter how much I lie, I'm going to keep my job because of the fact I take care of the developers?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's very important. All of you out there, we're into June. It's time for you to vote. It's time for you to get information. When I say get information, I'm talking about homework. I'm not talking about you who are asking Uncle John and Aunt Susie. I'm talking about get the facts.
Yes, sir.
So I want to thank you for being here because that's a sore thing as far as voters is concerned. Is procedure that happened during the Board of Education selection.
And I thank you, sir. Like I say, whatever God has planned for this election, whether I win or lose, I would like to continue to come back here and work with you to educate the voters on the issues, on the bills, and what's going on, and make sure that we get, when a big bill's coming up, whether it's the hospital or what's going to happen with FedEx Field, that we really get into the details, because I heard a rumor the other day that the hospital hasn't decided yet whether or not they're going to accept the state insurance.
Right.
If they're not going to take this state insurance, well, then half the people in the area can't go to the hospital.
Right.
So you got to wonder, who is that brand new hospital really for? It might not be for the people whose tax money has went to bill.
Right. Okay. I want to thank you for
sir.
being here. And like I say, we need you to come back and keep us informed on these big projects.
Big projects, yes, sir.
And things, money projects that some people are pounding their chest how great it is, but it's going to be functional.
Yes, sir.
I'm pushing a lot of research in this hospital, rather than a Band-Aid. Okay, this has been Ed Brown, and we had Mr. Browning here. He's been out there. What we want to do is support young people like that. And we have Mr. Hardy coming on. We're bringing you information. This is the month, not November, June. See you in a second. Hi, welcome back to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Hey, it's election time. What do you mean election's not in November? The election is now, June. You can go early, the 14th of June to the 24th. And what you need to do, you need to get out there. You see all these things that are happening. All those things that they're doing on a national level, they started in your neighborhood. The individuals that are running for office now, they're the ones that started these different programs. And what you have to do is decide by doing your homework, is this guy going to represent me, or he's going to represent himself, or he's going to represent the big boys? Here we have Sherman Hardy. He's back on the Ed Brown Show.
Yes.
This young man is out there trying to make a change. And we need their future thoughts, because what happened, the future belongs to them. That's right. All you guys over 50, man, you're going down the wrong side now, baby. You haven't taken part in it. You need to take part in this election. It's going to be June 14th to the 24th. Sherman party.
Hey, Mr. Brown. Yes, so early voting is June 14th to the 21st, and then the last day is going to be June 26th. So we got to make sure people get out and vote. And if they haven't registered already, they missed the deadline, unfortunately. So hopefully everybody did their part and registered to vote for this upcoming election.
Well, tell us about some of the things that you talked about and you've been talking about since the election started is economic development.
Yes.
Tell us some of the things that you feel that need changing and the things that you're going to do to change them.
Yes, so it's very important, and I've been out in the community talking to various people, from our evolutionary elders to the young people alike, and the most common thing that I hear is that we don't have any good restaurants or any good shopping in our neighborhoods, and many families are tired of just the carry-outs and the fast food restaurants, and they want
plenty of those.
Exactly, you have one on every corner. They're tired of the liquor stores and all the smoke shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we need to have economic development in our county and bring in a lot of more establishments that are going to benefit our community from people who live in our community.
And another thing I thought that they need to emphasize, to these businesses is training. The training aspects of it is the thing that a lot of young people are not aware and have not been exposed to the different things, that they should be doing at a certain level,
Right.
Because what happens is that they're not aware of the quality and the difference, and not only in preparation, but service.
Yeah, so what's happening is there's a disconnect between our community, our elected officials, and well as our businesses, and we have to do a better job of getting everybody together to say, hey, these are the resources that are in your community, and this is what you can do in order to be what you want to be, because the information is out there. As you've seen before, the gentleman who does the home services for the after the disasters, he said, there are a lot of resources. He's a resource, but the information isn't being put out there. So, we need to partner with all levels really to get it out there. I know we talked off camera about the community college having their new state-of-the-art culinary program, but we can do so much more. I applaud the county for getting a partnership with Prince George's Community College to do that. But there's STEM programs. There's we can have our own technology programs here within our county as well as creating more businesses that benefit our community. I believe that we need to have programs that give back to our community, not just open up a business and put their shop there, and that's the last that you see them whenever you go in their stores.
Yeah, well, see, and the training is so very important.
Yeah,
people don't understand. That's why I mentioned the fact that they're trying to get quality businesses to get into a training program other than just 9 to 5, so that individual will have some idea what it takes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's most important.
The effort that it takes to do it. It's just not no idea of passing money around. Is that you have to develop skills.
Yes, it's very simple to get a permit and to get a building and occupation license from the county and to go from there, but it takes a lot more to actually have a business, and those are some of the resources that people need to partner with the local chamber of businesses and commerce within our community, so that they can determine from other people who are doing the same things exactly how they became successful. I know in my business, I go to various networking events, and I actually do some events for people to train them on exactly what it takes to become a realtor and exactly how they can excel within that business. But within other establishments, there needs to be a go-to, and I think that's a key component that's being missed, and a lot of information that's sliding through the cracks, whereas we don't have the connection between our government and our businesses, and then the local people and leaders within our community.
Well, see, That's the thing I think that the influence and everything that young people like you would have in positions of that nature associated with the corporations, say.
And also, what I believe that we need to do more of is have adult education. You know, a lot of businesses and careers that were there before are no longer there because times have changed. So we need to retrain a lot of people, not only our adults but our children as well, to say these are going to be the jobs of the future, and this is what it's going to take to get there. So we need to put a line in the budget to do revamp the unemployment and also the job fair locations, and so that they can have that the programs that are available for people who are underemployed right now.
Well, tell us, is it difficult to influence the corporations to understand that advanced training, it's an investment.
Right.
It's an investment.
Yeah, and
it's an investment into their business.
Exactly. Yeah, and there are a lot of companies that actually do that right now. I know Pepco has programs that they hire interns and different students and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure there's a whole lot more. But as a community, like I say, and I keep emphasizing, we need to get together as a community with these businesses, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of businesses out there, but we don't know who they are and how they do it in order for these.
Well, what about the Chamber of Commerce?
That would be a focal point, right?
I would say they are sensitive to the need, and they also develop a positive image to their business.
Yes, because what makes a community and a county grow, of course, is economic development.
Right.
That's the backbone of everything, is small businesses, and that's how we're going to continue to get the capital that we need instead of getting it from the property taxes.
Yeah.
Because you're being overburdened with that.
Yeah, the first thing they want to do is tax property tax.
Right, and through myself and my association, the Realtor Association, we fought strongly against the 15% increase that they were trying to do at the county, and we got it lowered to a lot lower. But we shouldn't have to raise the property taxes to fund education.
Yeah, right.
So these are some things that we need to sit down and we need to talk about. But it needs to be more people that have a seat at the table and have a lot more transparency than what we're having right now.
Well, the industries that affect that would be really real estate, because first thing a person wants to concern themselves is what it costs for me to live. Do I have to live in a standard
quality
environment
right.
in order to afford the job that I have?
And I can tell you from firsthand account how hard it is, and the mindset of what people who are thinking about either moving into the county or moving out of the county are thinking. They're wondering about the property taxes. How much can I actually afford? Because they're saying this house here costs me a lot less, but I'm paying a whole lot more taxes than I would go to a different county and paying more for the home and paying less in my taxes. So these are some key components we got to think about.
Which route do you take?
Exactly. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because if we were able to have a system put in place, whereas we are taxing the businesses and removing the loopholes, then we can actually lower the property taxes. We don't have to tax so much on real estate property taxes. As you know, most people in Prince George's County are government workers. We don't have the economic force behind us in Prince George's County like Montgomery County does, and Virginia as well. So these are some things that our elected officials have to start thinking about and moving forward in order to make a positive impact on our community.
Well, see, what happens with that is environment. The young people do not know where to go and the procedure for obtaining the things that they want.
Right.
Because the government, whether it's federal, state, or local government, is not doing a good job in making clear that the young people can prepare themselves for these situations and show them, even if they get into a situation like that, how to handle it.
I mean, you face many roadblocks when you actually go down to some of the county municipal buildings because of the backlog and, you know, the mismanagement from some of the agencies, whereas, you know, the permits and different stuff like that. So it's like, you know, you're constantly fighting against everything to try to become somebody and to own those businesses because, you know, it's the key to financial security is having your own and not dependent on anybody else to pay you for what you need.
Right. Well, the other thing, too, is I think the government has, they make attempts to do what you're saying, but they put a negative to it, just like Section 8 and things of that nature. So people, they don't want to be associated with that. They want a program where they're not labeled.
Yes.
See, and quite often, financially, that they are a label if they live in certain areas.
Yeah, but see, that's what we have to work on as well as a community and as people to stop labeling and stigmatizing certain programs because some of these things are put in place to benefit you and us and me and everybody else who look like us so that we can actually get ahead and do some of the things. Everything that is a handout isn't bad.
Well, that's the idea. Most people think handout programs, especially sponsored, if they're sponsored by if they're sponsored by the corporation, they're different.
Exactly.
But if they're sponsored by the government, then it has a negative. It has a negative appearance to the individual. So what they do, they actually stay away from it.
Right, but see, it's not the actual, the point of having that is, you know, to help you. It's not, I can understand if, you know, a person was on some of these programs for life. It's not for that, you know, it's to give you a leg up because for many of us, we're already starting so many paces behind. So this is to say, hey, catch up and get what you need to be and then, you know, move on from the various programs. You don't have to stay on the programs. You know, I was at one point.
Because see, quite often a person is accused of that. You know, this happens with children, for instance, and sometimes it influences a woman to have a child because they get X number of dollars from the federal government, where they could take another approach to the program where after a certain period of time, then you will be on your own. You will qualify. And what we're going to do is help you get into the economic thing. Okay, this has been Ed Brown. Well, hey, we just don't have enough time. But that's a great subject because the young people are the future, and they economically they are being walked and not provided an opportunity, equal opportunity. To get into the economy. So I want to thank you again. I want to see you back here because the young people, and don't forget to vote. I mean, I said, this is June. You're supposed to vote, okay, the 14th, 21st. Be there. This has been Ed Brown. See you next time.
The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.